At the end of the presentation, we will have time for a question and answer session. Please use the chat feature to submit your questions, and you can do that throughout the presentation. Please keep yourself muted during this presentation so that we don't have any interruptions as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our presenter, Andreas.
Yes, hello everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to welcome you today. I'm so delighted that so many of you could make it happen. My name is Andreas Geringer, and I will talk about a short introduction to the European Medical Device Regulation. To my background, I am a biologist. I make my master in Bavarian for biology with majors in molecular biology as well as biophysics. So last year I started my career as Regulatory Affairs Manager at the notified body DQS Medizinprodukte GmbH. And my focus, or my currently focus, is the change notifications, the unannounced audits, as well as the audit planning for different certification programs. Today's topic, as mentioned above, is the regulatory European medical device regulation. And I have three key topics, chapters I want to present you. Brief, I want to give you a quick overview about main points of the medical device regulation from Europe. Please don't mix it up with the medical device regulation of the United Kingdom. Then go ahead to approval of the medical devices for sale and distribution in the European Economic Area. Secondly, I want to go to the new requirements under the European Medical Device Regulation. So what's it about the legacy devices, what's about newly requested devices, and the far-reaching changes done by the introduction of this regulation. At least, what can we, as notified body, DQSMed, do for you to smooth these processes? So at chapter 3, we have the certification processes. We have starter kits implemented by our notified body to smooth the interaction between the clients as well as the notified body itself. And I will elucidate specific processes. So the new regulation, an overview. This regulation came in force since May 26, 2021, and it replaces two old directives, the MDD, as well as for active implantable devices, the IMD. And this regulation concerns for newly requested devices risk classes from 1 till 3. So 1S stands for sterile, M for measurable, R for reusable. Not included in this medical device regulation are just risk class 1 devices. So there is a CE marking and that's it. Beside the newly requested medical devices, we also have legacy devices, also certified, implemented on the European market below the directives MDD and IMD, which concerns requirements with the post-market surveillance, market surveillance, vigilance, and the registration in the new data bank Audit. So the regulation, the European Medical Device Regulation, describes the requirements and the conformity assessment procedures for medical devices to 3 parties: the manufacturers, the notified body itself, as well as their accreditors. Going to the next slide, we have the approval of medical devices for sale and distribution in the European Economic Area. So what does it mean to you as manufacturer when it says came into force on May 25, 2021? Yeah, it means there is a transition period for certified, for approved medical devices. And this transition period goes till May 26, 2024. So in this period, all certified devices could or may continue in the economic area under the old directives. But when we talk about could or may continue in this economic area, what does it mean to you? So as manufacturer, there are new additional requirements which have to be met for those devices during the transition period. So it's not only I got my certified device under the old directive and everything is fine. Unfortunately not. When we talk about the new requirements, we have the two parties, the legacy devices, as well as the newly requested devices below the regulation. And to come closer to the term of legacy devices, it's just considered to include all devices previously CE marked under the European directives MDD or AMDD. So the legacy devices, as mentioned before, not exempted from the additional requirements in the medical device regulation. To get a closer look, I would recommend you to take a look at the publications, at the papers from the Medical Device Coordination Group. They have some publications in accordance with different articles and give you relevant information about the new requirements which should be met under the European regulation. So for legacy devices, there's just surveillance activities as well as vigilance activities which should be met until this transition period is over. So we have the Article 120 as well as the Article 86, where the manufacturers should draw up and update kind of periodic safety update report, short PSUR, with respect to the Article 86. They need to make the PSUR available then to the competent authorities like the notified bodies as DQS Medizinprodukte GmbH. But fortunately, not all MDR requirements have to be met with this or within this transition period. So it's just about the surveillance, about the vigilance, like the clinical data and other stuff. But examples for the provisions not applicable in respect to this legacy devices are listed in the articles 15, 16, 186, 257, 278, as well as 32. So we have the first party with the legacy devices, and we have the second party with the newly requested devices. And here it's pretty interesting. We have far-reaching changes. So if you have a device certified under the old directives, there is a rise of components difference which has to be met. So I've got listed the most important innovations for these manufacturers for you. First of all, we have the scope of the application. So at the very beginning with Article 1, it defines nowadays also devices for cleaning, sterilization, disinfection, as well as reusable medical devices and also medical devices without a medical purpose. As example, we are talking from lenses which has been colored. Beside the scope, we have a concretization of the technical documentation. So what does it mean? We have a rise in minimum content which should be inside this technical documentation, and we have a higher effort to maintenance. So we have to do more to update this kind of technical documentations on DQS notified body side as well as on the side of our clients. We have, and this is the part with the highest impact, I would say, is about the clinical evaluation, the clinical data, the surveillance and vigilance system. The thing is with the European Medical Device Regulation is that the safety of the patient is in focus. So therefore, the requirements are higher with respect to the clinical evaluation. You will see this like in reports, in surveillance activities, and so on. For example, in former times under the old directive, we have just one auditor often who take a closer look to the clinical evaluation, make kind of update in his technical file review, and everything was fine. Nowadays, we need extra clinical experts to take a look at the clinical evaluation to perform something that's called clinical evaluation assessment report. So we have nowadays more instances to take a look to this data, as well as now more instances to take a look to the surveillance activities. The medical device regulation also implemented new procedures for high-risk medical devices, the so-called scrutiny procedure with respect to the Article 454. The scrutiny procedure is also a second instant implemented. So beside the notified body who make the certification program, you have an additional expert panel who take a look at the data, at the reports, to gain more safety for the patients in the European market. Nowadays, we have also new implemented a person which is responsible for the regulatory and the compliance with respect to Article 15, so that vigilance as well as surveillance activity are every time met. We have a new system to identify and to trace devices with the UDI system. There you can recommend to take a look at the Article 25 and 27. And we have more transparency through the Central European Database, where the products have to be registered. And more obligations for you as clients, for manufacturers, to provide and coverage in the event of a liability for reusable surgical instruments. And at least we have numerous new classification rules. And this is a pretty crucial point. If you have a device certified under the old directives, they have specific rules, but these rules do not apply without any respects to the new MDR classification rules. So take a closer look. There are new rules, there are more rules, and they are more specific. So this is one big obstacle we every time see when we have a new application by a client, that these new classification rules are not that easy to fulfill, to define your product as it was like under the old directives. So in this context, what can we do as notified body for you? Or why to choose our notified body, the DQS Medizinprodukte GmbH? First of all, we are just an accredited notified body under the new medical device regulation. Our accreditor is the CLG, the German Federal State for Health Protection, with regard to medicinal products as well as to medical devices. We have about 25 years of experience in the medical device field, as well as in the healthcare management system certification. Moreover, we have a broad product portfolio for certification programs. So we are accredited for the ISO 19000, ISO 13485, as well as for the ISO 15387, as well the MDSAP certification programs, as also nowadays in this year for the Taiwan certification program 3. And also more certification program accreditations are in the queue. Worldwide, we are working with 200 experienced assessors and experts. We have 1,600 clients, as well as 2,800 certified sites. Moreover, we are actively participating in standard and technical committees. This is a main prejudice for you. If there are news, if there are new publications, papers, we will take it in close time and can transmit it to our clients. So the certification process according to the MDR, our last final chapter, for the interaction between our manufacturers and our notified body. We developed packages, so-called starter kits, to facilitate, to smooth the application processes for the European Medical Device Regulation. At least there are 3 different kind of kits. We have kit 1, kit 2, kit 3. On the bottom of the site you will find the link as well as the description of the files. Here's an example for the kit 1, for the MDR starter kit 1. We have the zip file as listed above, and they contain different kind of documents. So at the very beginning, this is absolutely non-committal. You have kind of description about the application procedure below, under the MDR. You have a capacity assessment. You have the guidance for the technical documentation and a lot of overview of guidelines we offer, as well as recommendations. The second starter kit is if you are interested in certification processes with our notified body. So there is the basic data of the organization, which you could fill in, also the basic data list, checklists for technical documentation, as well as submission of technical documentation and process flow. And at least after your application, you get an additional technical documentation guideline, which is a bit different to the guidance technical documentation. So these 3 kits are offered to you as manufacturer, and should smooth these processes till you reach your MDR certification. So this process could be briefly elucidated. We have 7 essential steps for you as client. First of all, we have kind of exchange of information. You have a product in question and wish to certify this product. So at the very beginning, you have to communicate what kind of quality management system you want to have certified, which certified programs, if you choose certified program from Taiwan, if you choose MD sub, if you choose whatever you want. And we need, of course, also product relevant related information. So if you have risk 1 devices, if you have 2B, 2A, 3, and all this comes together and facilitates kind of a feasibility study on notification body side. So on your side, we are talking about your project to realize, and then we start to kick off this feasibility study, which needs at all the basic data from our clients, as well as a device list and description. Here is also crucial, the device list and description is updated under the Medical Device Regulation in comparison to the former directives. You have to fulfill all chosen points, as well as take a closer look to the description. So there are the classification rules, there are new risk classes introduced, there are some upgrades or downgrades from medical devices. So software, for example, is a crucial topic. And when we send them and you send them back, we made a preliminary evaluation. This preliminary evaluation contains, okay, your product is a medical device or not. You never know. And if this evaluation, if positive, the DQS will forward you a non-committal cost estimation, a kind of battery draft, where you can see what cost will to be handled. together with this cost estimation, you will also receive application forms. And then, if you resend them, your conformity assessment procedures with respect to the MDR starts. Here it is important to note that the application itself is not a guarantee for certification. In step 4, we review and evaluate the sent and the submitted data. And for clarification purposes, DQS may ask you for additional information, for more details. So this is especially interesting if you have also kind of combination products, integral products. So if you have a product which contains medical part and also contains a medicinal part. Yeah, then we have to clarify the purpose of the product. So if you have the focus, the purpose of the combination product on medical side, or you have it on medicinal side. So we have to choose one or the other way, and then it is important if it's the main focus on the medical device side, on the medical component part of the combinational product, then we can certificate this product. On the other hand, if the medicinal part has the main focus, then you are wrong. For more or less at the notified body side for medical devices, we have to go to the European Medicine Agency. Yeah, upon successful completion of the review, your application for certification will be accepted. So step 5 summits the audit. So we have an evaluation of your technical documentation with respect of your devices on the list, as well as your quality system assessment. At DQS, we're starting with the technical file review, doing the assessment for your products, and then starts the assessment for the quality management system, which is handled over 2 stages. Stage 1 is just reviewing the documents, the files. This is mainly offsite, and we have stage 2, where an auditor, assessor comes to your company and take a closer look to the surroundings. Then, after the assessment and the creation of the technical file report, of the system, audit system report, we have the certification decision. The decision itself is a multi-stage process with different working groups to ensure that the certification decisions are appropriate. And we have also assessment evaluated by an independent panel of experts. So we have a lot of people looking over the assessment and the creation of the reports to have a safe decision at the end. After your certification decision and the handing over of your certificate with respect to the regulation, we will continue with a certification cycle. So we have to perform surveillance activities at regular intervals with respect to the quality management system, to the technical documentation, and if necessary, we also perform unannounced audits to guarantee that everything is going fine. Here is just a small summary for you. So the right-hand side above, you will see the pre-work of the manufacturer, where you can work with the MDR starter kit. Then we have the exchange of information and the preliminary evaluation, where you can use our MDR starter kit too. Then after submitting the application for certification, we check the technical guidance documentation from starter kit 3, doing the planning, and then starting with the evaluation of the technical documentation and the quality management system. Therefore, it could happen that there are findings and action plans, and after correcting everything, we have the certification decision process and the continuation of the certification cycle. So far, here's just a list of sources. You can gain all information I talk about at the website dqsglobal.com. This is the most important link for you. And if you're interested in the certification of your device in question, just take a look at those listed MDCG papers, we have the papers 2026, 2021-15, 2021-25, and 2024, also for legacy devices. What requirements have to be met? So thank you very much for your attention. And yeah, I'm ready for questions.
If you'd like to submit a question, please use the chat feature and we'll answer all the questions there.
Hey, Andreas, could you go into a little more detail about when they code a medical device without a medical use? Could you give a few more examples of that?
The medical device and the medical use.
Without.
I go to the presentation back.
Yeah.
So here you can find the link. Okay. Good. So I go to the beginning, I would say, Scott, or?
Yeah, it was towards the beginning of the presentation, correct?
Okay, so here we go. Right here, or next slide?
Yeah, I think it's the next slide.
Okay, so just say stop. This one, okay. So about the scope of application.
Yeah. The certain devices without a medical purpose. Could you give more examples of that? We seem to have some customers who get confused on that one.
You're welcome. For example, the purpose. I really like to do examples with combinatorial products. For example, you have a syringe, and the syringe could be pre-filled with kind of medicinal substance. For example, insulin solution. And therefore, there are different things to think about it. If you have pre-filled syringes, you have to choose between the European Medicine Agency for medicinal products or for notified bodies like the DQS Medizinprodukte GmbH. It depends on the medical device itself. If you can reuse it many times, you would say the focus is on the medical device side, so just the reusing. If just the application is the focus on, so just use this one time, this insulin-filled syringe, then you have to go to the European Medicine Agency for the certification processes, for example. The same is with kind of gels. So if you have for massage or stuff like that, the components inside play a key role. So if, for example, the gel contains kind of stuff like capsaicin, and you have the purpose of your product says it's just for smoothing the musculature or something like that, then you have really defined it in your purpose, the main purpose. If it's to heat it up, like the capsaicin meets kind of receptors, then you have a receptor ligand interaction. And in this case, it would be a medicinal product. So it depends which component in your gel is for the goal, for the purpose. For example, also if you have kind of pills you have to swallow, so if there is just a barrier, if you just want to smooth your throat so you don't cough anymore, so you have, it would defined as physical effect. And this physical effect would be a medical device. On the other hand, if there was a medicinal substance inside this pill and it is not physical, meaning there is kind of interaction again between metabolic stuffs, metabolic factors, then it would be a medicinal device. So you have really take a close look and define properly, appropriate, what the goal of your product is.
Okay, so really focus on the intended use and goal.
Absolutely, yes. This is the most important factor, and there are a lot of obstacles in that. So you have at our side, unfortunately, we are not allowed to consult you as clients. Yeah, we just can push you a bit in the right direction. We can't say, okay, this is a medicinal product, this is a medical device. We can also say, okay, you have to take a look at the intended purpose and define for yourself what is the goal of your product.
Yep, thank you. I just wanted you to reiterate on that. We seem to have some issues with that. Thanks.
Andreas, we have a question about the link on I think it's the second to last slide. Can you put that slide up again?
Yeah, you're welcome. So, here, also the same link. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just to our website. And then I have a couple people asking if we could provide them the slides. Is that something we can do?
Yeah, you're welcome. I can do. You can find the information every single point at below this link. So we can share this presentation if you want. So you can also take a look at this link like you want. I feel comfortable.
Great. And then we also recorded the presentation. It will be posted on our YouTube channel as well. Are there any other questions? Okay, I think that's it. Thank you for your time. And Andreas, thank you for the great amount of information you gave us.
Thank you very much. Warmest greetings from Frankfurt. And
Thank you.
yeah, I wish you guys a nice day.
Thank you, Andreas. Have a nice evening.
Thanks.